Well, I don't give a shit. Because if people don't like me because of the way I talk or think, that's their business. See what I'm saying? That's their business. Like, it's your business. I ain't mad at you if you don't like me. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, it's your business. It's not my business. The question is why do people care? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they need your validation. They want you to like me because they don't like themselves. So they're looking for everybody else to validate their value. Am I cool? Am I good? You like me?
Did I make it?
Am I right? Huh? You know, I don't do that.
Step 1, wake up early, gon' rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gon' rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
The day I met Bullhorn Betty and John
three places that you can stay for absolutely free. 3 of them. You ain't got to play a doggone thing. Hear me. Understand that you can stay out my face for free. You can stay out my business for free. And you can stay out my way for free. Those things won't cost you a doggone thing. 3 places you can stay For absolutely free. Thank you.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Sorry, guys. I'm just sitting here just in la la land right now. Sorry about that. So I just saw a few comments in here. So this is not breaking news on Quinton Simon. This is more conversations about the two monkeys' families. We started talking about it yesterday because prior to us going to Savannah, Georgia, Dolly and I were actually out in Fruitland, Idaho. He was able to put out a lot of his content. I started getting into Kylie Rodney right away. And then right after that came Quinton Simon, which just happened to be another child that was coined Monkey. So these are the two cases of Monkey, right? We have Monkey, Michael Vaughn in Fruitland, Idaho, and we've got Quinton's Monkey Simon here in Savannah, Georgia. Totally different scenarios, totally different police chiefs, totally different vibes from the cases, totally different everything. We broke on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Everybody is now picking up the story this evening, but it was broke here on Bullhorn Betty channel of this new revelation in Michael Monkey Vaughn's case. Many of you guys know, again, we put a lot of time and energy into this case. Although we were out in Savannah, Georgia, we put more search efforts into this case than we did of that in Savannah, Georgia. This was a scenario where Michael Monkey Vaughn seemingly vanished from his home. There was a lot of backlash toward the family. And then we have, Quinton Simon, where this child seemingly disappeared. It was decided early on that the mom, Leilani Simon was the person that they had already deemed the suspect and the only suspect in the disappearance of her child. And we haven't come close to them receiving half of the BS that Michael Monkey Vaughn's family received during this time without any, and again, I repeat, any substantial evidence pointing to either parent in this disappearance. And again, Michael Monkey Vaughn, we're very hopeful, is still out there somewhere, still alive, still going to be able to have many Christmases to come. But, the bottom line is the reality of that is becoming a lot smaller as we, learn of these new revelations of this neighbor. Now, many of you guys know, probably you've already heard that this is on Red Wing. We've been hearing addresses of 1102, but the problem is I really believe it's 1100. And here's why, is because the Starkey family, which resides at 1100 Red Wing, not only is the husband or the male half an RSO, so is the wife. Both. Yes, both. And so this is very heartbreaking news for me. Again, I'm hopeful. The neighbor, Stacy Wondra, is in jail right now on unrelated charges. Many people, because of him being in jail on unrelated charges, kind of believe that this may be the 1102 property. It may be in concert with one another, right? I mean, we don't know. We know that Stacy Wondra, he is in jail right now, and he's been in jail for some time on unrelated charges. Was he the whistleblower for 1100? Did he know something that went behind the scenes? We don't know. What I can tell you is where all the cop cars are literally between the two homes. So trying to decipher what home and which backyard they're digging in is hard to tell from the photos supplied. It is. But make it make sense. Seriously, make this make sense. It can't. But again, you know, every other channel, you guys are watching these other channels. Go out there to YouTube, hit live. You'll see everything on here for Michael Monkey Vaughn. Go back to Bullhorn Betty's original video, which came out over an hour ago. We were already discussing this. You are welcome, YouTube, for breaking you guys the news on Michael Monkey Vaughn, because everybody else was, you know, looking someplace else for another case. And we work very hard. This is, again, another case that we went out. And oh my God, what? Bullhorn Betty didn't pull out a bullhorn and rock this mom and dad's world? I wonder why that is. This is to Michael. Many people may disagree, but quite frankly, I deserve some wine, and so does each and every one of you. And here's why. I work my little rear end off. This stuff is emotional for me. These children and hearing the despicable things that this world does to it's just too much sometimes. It's too much. It's so too much. You know, I'm called a tragedy pimp for advocating for these children. Like, you make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. This trip out to Michael Monkey Vaughn was very hard on me. And here's why. Because there was very little to next to no support financially for this case, to cover this case. It was the great heart of some of the wonderful people that are in my community, in the Bullhorn Betty channel, and part of the coffee club that helped sponsor the trip and made sure I had a way to get out there to cover this case. This was hard for me because early on in this particular case with Michael Monkey Vaughn, and we will get on over to Quinton because I've got some bombshell pictures for you guys to see. So tell everybody out there, in about another 20, 30 minutes, we're going to be going over some photos that I have in my possession related to the Simon household, the Simon Powell household, and why I'm so disgusted with the police chief. And we're going to see why. But before then, we're going to talk about Michael Monkey Vaughn. Here's why. Because this poor boy has not gotten enough attention on this show. It just hasn't. He hasn't. The family hasn't. Again, we spent a lot of money, thousands of dollars, to go out there to see this poor boy, his family, try to find some information that we can. And you know what? At the end of the day, what did we find? We didn't find the people that did this to him. We didn't do that, right? But what we did find is at least for my mind and my heart and my soul, I was able to finally put to bed whether I thought the family was guilty or not. And I came here and I told you guys that, even though I was unable to get the videos out with all the work that was going on. It's just me here. It's not like I have this huge, super duper team. Even when Olivia's with me, she's doing work for herself. You know what I'm saying? What am I drinking? Moscato, Barefoot Moscato, best tasting wine ever. I've had just one glass of wine. I'm on my second glass of wine now. No, I did not drink all this in one night. This is 2 nights ago. I got into the wine 2 nights ago. I actually poured myself a glass of wine and ended up leaving half the glass on my dresser. I woke up the next morning. I'm like, no, right? But I was just too tired. Right now, I'm just stressed. So it's hard because we already know the fate of one monkey, and we're sitting here on our hands and pins and needles waiting for the fate of the second second monkey, rather. I meant monkey. First monkey, we know the fate of the first monkey. Now we're sitting here, you know, on pins and needles waiting for the fate of the second monkey. And it's just hard. It is. And I really don't know what to say other than there was no history. It sounded like, well, at least why this little boy Michael Monkey Vaughn was on this earth, at least we can at least report it sounded like he had at least a good home life, which is hard, right? You know, it's hard because we hear such horrible stories about these young children being from horrible, horrible families before they go missing. And this is one that at least felt all the love he could possibly feel, right? At least this is the one where we can say, at least if this comes out the way it may be coming out, at least we can say that at least he had all the love in the world. He knew what at least happiness was, you know? At least he knows. No, Chiron Horman. No, Amy, I haven't looked into that one. There's so many. There's so many. There's so many. I didn't realize the horrible statistics of these children until I started studying Summer Wells. And that's when, you know, and then we all kind of started focusing on children. I'm telling you, it's sick. The photos that I have to see are sick. And here's a few of them. If I can find them. Hold on a second. I'm pretty sure I got them up over here. If they're still up, let me back this out just so we don't dox anybody unintentionally. Okay, here they are. And then you got a family like this where it's hard to find photos that don't have injuries on their children, you know? And this is Quinton. Here we go. So you got busted lips, big, huge knots on the forehead. And look at how happy that little boy is. Probably just got the crap beat out of him. And he's like, hey, I'm ready for more. Every photo. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. Why is that only showing me 4 of them? Hold on here. Should be a heck of a lot more than 4. All right, let me go over here. Thank you, Peyton, for becoming the newest member. Let's see if I can go over here and get these photos off. I did send them to myself. There they are. Because we even have some of oh, that's why. So I can get them all open. There we go. And I want to show you some of these. Some of these are pretty hard to see because it's, and I just want to put the trigger warning out. I really don't care. I'm sure I'll get past all the whole ad suitability thing, but this is what my problem is. Thank you guys for becoming the newest member of the coffee club. And I appreciate it. Peyton, thank you. Thank you so much. But you know, you have this side of the family, you know, Michael Monkey Vaughn's family that has been through some of the worst crucifixion on YouTube I've seen thus far, without an ounce of evidence that they were responsible. Did I think, and do I think that there's a scintilla of evidence, or not evidence, but a scintilla of a thought process that Tyler was involved? He was the last person. Of course there it was. But again, that's what is so important about getting boots on the ground in the area and talking to people that saw these people the day all this happened, to find out what they, you know, how they were acting, what they were doing. You know, a lot of this stuff can be spun a lot of different ways, but there was something about Brandy. There was something about how much she was fighting for her boy that just made me question, you know, was she involved in all these things I was hearing? And I just could not make it make sense to me. I really couldn't. It was like, okay, well, she said this, but does that really imply this? And things of that nature. And it was like, I couldn't get it. So I couldn't wrap my head around it. I needed to get out there. Dolly and I got out to Idaho. We did a lot of great work, and we have a polar opposite. This is what I didn't find in this case. This is what I did not find in this case. I didn't find crap like this. Okay? I didn't find crap where children's heads are black and blue. I didn't find this in Michael Monkey Vaughn's case. I found a lot of things that pointed that somebody had taken this child off the street, but I didn't find the abuse from the home in this case. I didn't find the criminal element, the drug element in Michael Monkeys Vaughn's case, but I sure did in Quinton Simon. And by the way, if you don't know who this child is right here, this is Zane. And if you guys wonder, why are you putting Zane's face up on your screen? It's because Zane was her favorite. And look at what she's done to even her favorite. Now think of the child she hated the most. The child she hated the most, Quinton. Why did she hate that child? It's because we learned early on it had to do with her father or his father. What we didn't know is that there is potential that Leilani's mother, Billy Joe, actually slept with the father of Quinton Simon, Bubba Moss. And that is being touted around here. And I have to be honest with you, I do believe that statement. Because of the statement that Billy Joe made out of her own mouth. It was almost like a threatening manner. And all the times you hit on me, it was almost as if she was trying to threaten Bubba Moss that if he kept going with this, that she was going to expose something a little bit more. That's what I read when I heard that. But that head right there is bruised. Here's Quinton Simon. Young boy. I don't think anybody understands how small this boy is. Quinton Simon was a tiny, tiny little guy. Every time, that's Zane right there. Every single time you see a photo of these boys, there is Zane right there in his young little body with double black eyes. Double black eyes, a bruise on his chin, and a bruise across his nose. More injuries. Now, mind you, Quinton was only 20 months old. I don't know any 20-month-old that has this many injuries on their body in just 20 months. I really don't. Did it only open 4 again? Lord have mercy. I don't know what is going on with my opener, why it's not opening these at the same time. Hold on one second. Let me try to go back and do it again. Otherwise, I'm just going to open it and we're just going to go through them one by one, which I shouldn't have to do. It should open just the way it's supposed to open. Maybe that's all the ones that are here to open. Let's just try to open them again. I could have sworn I had like 8. No, there's 9. There's a total of 9. I was going to say, I could have sworn I had 8 or 9 of them open. No, there we go. Here we go. So this is all the ones from these little babies. Zane, double black eye. Zane. I mean, these are some significant bruises on these kids. These are not bruises that you would anticipate or expect with childlike behavior. And if you did have one of these incidents, let's think about it. In our time as parents, and how would I know, right? Everybody always says, Bullhorn Betty doesn't even have kids. Are you kidding me? You're right. I didn't birth children out of my birthing canal, but the idea I don't have kids or grandkids is ridiculous and ludicrous. I was there for the birth of every one of my children outside of the first child, and that was Holly. And that's because she was 6 months old when I met her grandfather. So this idea, I don't know about children. I don't know about their behavior. I don't know about their horse playing. I don't know this. I don't know that. I was a freaking tomboy, climbed in stinking trees. I went swimming in my swimming pool when my parents weren't around. I was walking to school at the age of 5 years old. What the hell does Bullhorn Betty know about children or child injuries? Well, this is what I know. I know that it takes a lot to hurt a child. It takes a little to hurt a child, but it takes a lot to hurt a child. For example, any mother and any grandmother. Now, I know you guys are not going to admit this to me. I know you're not going to admit this to me because I'm not going to admit this. But anybody that's ever watched a child, the chances of that child rolling off of a bed, one that's up, almost 2 feet off the ground, a bed. We're not going to tell you that our children or our grandchildren have probably fallen off that bed a time or two. We won't tell you that. We won't tell you that our children, as much due diligence as we try to do to maintain their safety, gets injured. It happens. Guess what? It happens to everyone. Every single parent, right? It does. You turning your back for a second and your child hitting into something and them screaming bloody murder, it will happen. If you got young children in your home, that will happen. It will happen. It's part of life. And you feel like a really crappy parent and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I almost killed my granddaughter. Oh my God. I almost killed her. She rolled off the bed. You check them. You make sure that their eyes aren't rolling in the back of their head, that they don't have blood gushing out everywhere. And you're checking them and you're like, holy crap, there's not even a bruise. Like this child went whoop, right? I don't know how many parents have breastfed their children. Sat there breastfeeding their children and fell asleep doing it, and their child rolls off and hits the ground. It happens. Guys, I'm telling you, you're not a horrible parent. Newsflash, it happens to every parent. If you do not have a story like this, then you're not doing it right. I'm sorry. If you don't have a crazy off-the-wall story, parenting story, you're not doing it right. Everybody has them. It happens. The problem is this is obviously happening entirely too much. For example, out of every grandchild I have ever had, there's only been one rolling off the bed incident, right? Because after the first one, you make sure that never happens again, right? Am I right? I've never, you know what? But I had a best friend that never let go of their child breastfeeding. But I'm telling you, it was 2:00 in the morning. The baby was 3 months old. She's in the recliner breastfeeding and falls slap asleep breastfeeding. And she's got the child and her arm goes relaxed. That child hit the ground, 2 or 3 months old. It scared the crap out of her. New mom, first time the child's ever hit the ground, and you're like, oh, she's making fun of children hitting the ground. Because it happens. It's part of life. But I know that you as parents or grandparents have dealt with this. How many of your children or grandchildren receive double black eyes because of it? This is the point I'm making. My granddaughter fell off a bed that was 14 to 16 inches in the air and not one freaking bruise on that child. So when you see these photos, of all these injuries, and you just have to think, how in the hell can a child get this many freaking injuries in just a short period of time when you yourself know how much of a crappy parent you were? And I say that with all love, because we feel like crappy parents when our kids start screaming or our grandkids start screaming because we turned our heads just for just a second and boom, they're on the ground, right? So we call ourselves horrible parents and horrible grandparents, but we know we're not. But we have to put those experiences into use to understand what we're looking at here. Because out of all the stuff we did as horrible parents because we made mistakes and accidents, none of our children looked like this. Let's be honest. None of our children have ever looked like this as no matter how horrible of a parent we were when we turned our head and our child screamed bloody murder and we had to go over there and grab our child up and hold them and calm them and pick them up and look at their eyes and make sure nothing was going on because we're crying right along with the child, but we're hurt more than our children or our grandchildren are hurt because it scared the shit out of us. And nothing was wrong with those children. This is where I have my biggest problem. This is where it comes in because you know what? That's normal. Believe it or not, it's normal. A child falling off a chair is normal. A child rolling off the bed is normal. Should we have made better preparation? Of course we should have. Of course we should have. Maybe the playpen or the best bassinet was a much better place for this child as opposed to a bed. We make mistakes and we learn from them. The difference is we don't want our children injured. So we take the necessary precautions when something like that happens to make sure it never, ever happens again. So when you see all these photos of all these degrees of ages, I don't think anybody understands how truly small this little boy was. Because we see the photo of him and he looks so much older. He looks, because you just don't realize that this boy is only this big. That little ghost that ran across the yard right behind Dolly, and we saw how small he was in appearance to Dolly, that's about the right size. This little boy was that small. And I just want you to look again because I can't make it make sense. How can a boy this small have so many damn injuries? How? His brother. How? Come on. And the reason why I'm bringing this to you guys is because you guys have all had more child experiences than I have. From the minute that child came out to the minute that child walks down the aisle to be married. You guys have a lot of experiences. Your children didn't end up dead. Your children may have had, I broke my pinky toe one time. My sister fell out of a tree and broke an arm one time. This is one time in 40 years, okay? But at the time, it was probably one time in what, 12? By 12, I broke a toe and she broke an arm. We never had black eyes. You guys know my story. We came from a freaking violent household at times. I never left my house with black eyes. I never left my house with bruises on my face. Are you kidding me? And these children, I'm just thinking how many excuses this family had to come up with to explain all these knots, bruises, and black eyes every time they turned around. Or maybe they just didn't take the children out of the house because it would be more noticeable. There is no debunking of that ghost because I'm telling you, I about fell over when I saw it on my own live. I did not know it happened. I wasn't reading the chat. It wasn't until hours and hours after. And even when it was clipped and stuff, I still didn't believe it. I literally would not believe it until I went to my own live. So debunk that all you want to, but you can't make this shit up. It wasn't a lens flare. The light would have been in front of Dolly, not behind him. So they can debunk all they want. I know what I saw. I've never seen anything like it before. It's not like I'm peddling it or selling it to all these other places. It is what it is, and it is legit, and nobody can say it otherwise. Because people were apparently reaching out when it was happening, during the live, when it was literally happening. How can you make that up? How can you force those comments in your live chat? You can't. So it was Quinton. But I just want to put that into perspective because, we saw that little body. Nobody realizes he was really that tiny. This little boy was tiny. Tiny. If he was 24 inches tall, I would be surprised. 36 inches, I'm giving him way too much height. Way too much height. Zane is 3. Yeah, Zane was 3 going on 4. Quinton was 1 going on 2. Quinton did not survive. Again, we did find out that this child was seriously targeted by his mother. This child was not loved by his mother. This child was actually hated by his mother. She may have tried to love him. Hold on. All right. Mama Bullhorn. All right.
Hey. You were talking about
Hold on a second. This is she gets to bypass all you because you guys only know the call-in number. Mama Bullhorn gets Miss Bullhorn Betty on the phone. It's like
I'm like the president. I have my own phone. What I breastfed your sister till she was almost 11. And I never dropped her, but I would always.
But you can't say you haven't dropped a child.
Oh yeah, no. Sarah dropped you on your head when she came over to play. You were real little, and her and Angela kept playing. And I told her not to pick you up.
If anybody wants to know what happened to Bullhorn Betty, she was dropped on her head twice.
Not actually.
And I got my head slammed into a van door by my mother.
Oh, I was getting to that. Sarah picked you up. I'm working in the yard. You're in your playpen. And her and Angela were playing around the yard. And I said, no, do not pick her up. And she did and dropped you on the I had stepping stones around the back of the house. And you went right down on that stepping stone.
Oh, I remember both of them, believe it or not. I remember I'm the one that was cursed with remembering everything.
Oh, and then the day we were at the mall, we were going to see a movie, and I was getting down. We had this big van, and it had a king-size bed in the back, and you and Angela had been in the back. I got down out of the front, and you, just as I reached around behind me to slam the door shut, that was before the day of the fob.
Right.
There was no such thing. You had stuck your head back in because you thought you'd left your little purse, and that door went right smack upside your little head. Now,
I laughed. My mother was literally in tears.
The fear of having killed you or given you a brain concussion. We had to go home.
Mom, the door didn't realize how hard my head was.
New underwear.
The door didn't realize how hard my head was.
But
I've been hard-headed for the folks out at home. I've been a hard-headed person for my entire life. Nothing has changed.
I'll tell you, y'all had some major falls and bumps out at Grandpa's house.
But when did we come home with two black eyes or freaking like black and blue?
No, never.
We fell out of freaking trees and didn't look like these children.
I know. You used to climb trees and swing on the swings and hit each other in the head with a swing.
Jump off school buildings. Remember, we went through the thing, the whole phase of climbing up on top of the roofs.
Oh God! Or climbing a pine tree and going through your bedroom window. Yeah. Or vice versa. But the worst thing was talking about a mom's instinct and fear is the day we were in that car accident that wasn't a car accident, that Angela hit the van door and split the top of her head. I literally came unglued with the emergency room doctor who I knew, and I was working for Dr. Sider at the time, and
by the way, all the haters out there, these doctors are pretty much in their grave now. So if you want to call and dox my mom, be my guest, go to the graveyard. I'll send you to their address.
Yes. But it was plastic surgery I was working, and I knew you did not have to shave a little girl's head to fix a gash. It was seriously a gash all the way down to the bone almost. But this doctor had duct taped her to a backboard and told the nurse to shave her head. And I said no. And I said, I'm calling Dr. Sider. And he says, you can't call anyone in unless I approve it. And I said, well, I can take my daughter off that table and take her and meet Dr. Sider at the surgical center that I work in.
Mm-hmm.
And that pissed him off. And I've never seen such behavior in a doctor. He slammed the surgical
I remember
tray
that. I remember that.
until it tipped over, and the nurse had to create another sterile field and open another kit. But they shaved the top of her head while I was on the phone trying to get a hold of Dr. Sider. But,
well, that, you know what, just desserts. I mean, you know what she did to my head when I was younger.
But the point I was making is when she hit that door, I put my finger on her head to see if it was okay, and my finger went right into that hole.
Oh, wow.
I was around blood all the time.
Yeah, but blood from other people and blood from your kids are two totally different types of bloods. I'm sorry.
My first surgery that I observed, I didn't assist, was an amputation of a finger. I could handle it, but my own child, I went berserk. I was ready to jump that man.
Yeah.
And I did. When I walked back in that room and saw that they had shaved the top of her head, I told him, I'm reporting you to the medical society and filing a complaint with this hospital.
Yeah. Because you only really need about a half inch on either side of the gap to work
Well,
on
when
it.
I took her to Dr. Kennedy, he says, why did they shave her head?
I
would have closed it with the hair. I would have used
I wouldn't have done that. I mean, I know
stitches.
he would do that, but I've seen hair get into wounds and the infection that they cause. So, I mean, I can understand a little, shaved area, but definitely not.
He shaved a 4-inch slab right off the top. She looked like she had a crew cut. It was awful.
Just desserts. Bullhorn Betty won. Evil sister that decided to cut my hair and stick a ruler down my throat. 0.
But anyways, I don't understand how a woman can deliberately injure the child.
We can say that this child was 20 months old, and I have showed significant photos of this child at different ages with significant injuries on their bodies. Period.
I have to say, looking at those pictures, I was very disturbed. Talk about trigger warning. What upset me was with those pictures were it was repeated. And those children, you have to trust. A little baby has to have trust in the parent that they're going to be taken care of, because the baby doesn't know anything else.
This baby was smart. He knew to get the hell out of the house. His older brother knew to get the hell out of the house. They ran away. Before the age of 2 years old, this child has run away from home at least a half a dozen times.
Well, that was a signal right there. But I had you and Angela 17 months apart. And you both had allergies to disposable diapers, severe allergies to so I had to keep you in cotton diapers. I had to boil them. I had to do all of that because of the detergents. And it took me a whole day just to do diapers. So we didn't have a diaper service where we lived. It didn't travel that far. So
but our family was at that time was so damn poor. Even if we had a traveling diaper service, the chances of you being able to afford it were slim to none. Let's be honest. I think at the time, the minimum wage was $2 an hour, folks. $2 an hour.
Oh, Lord.
Homes were $17,000. Brand new cars were $2,500. Yes. There was that reality.
Yeah. Well, the house we were living in, I paid $14,800 for it. And it was a 3-bedroom. And we turned it into a 5-bedroom,
you know what, Mom?
4-bath.
You know what, Mom? When I bought this house, I paid twice that.
Yeah.
But my first house
were
was a lot. It was like 5 or 6 times that. This one was much cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. But you've done a lot to it. But back to the children. The 3 babies, my GGs, you raised them practically. And
I didn't kill them. And they didn't have a whole bunch
you didn't kill them.
Now one of the grandchildren did have a whelp similar to one of the knots that we did see in a photo, and that was from her sister smacking a cell phone up against her head. But again, those children didn't get beat. You know what they did? They got timed out and put in a corner, and they sat in that corner for over an hour, screaming and crying, just because that's what I wanted to make sure that they were the most uncomfortable feeling they could ever have.
Yep. But I remember coming over to your house and you had them all 3 lined up on the king bed you had learned to put pillows
Pillows around the bed.
You had pillows lining the floor around the bed.
You improvise, right? You improvise. You're going to smack the ground. Fine, smack the ground on a pillow. I'm good with that.
Well, I said, why don't you go get one of those things that, it's like a rail, a bed rail.
I ain't spent that kind of money.
I think you did.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We got pillows. We got a plethora of pillows in this home. I'll line the beds.
My grandmother used chairs.
We'll use parachutes next time. I'll blow up some parachutes to go around the bed so that they hit the bed, they spring up and hit the ceiling instead.
And then you got smart and got a blow up.
She's referring to a mattress, y'all. For all those crazy people out there, she's referring to a mattress. No other blow-up type of apparatus has been used in this home. Just FYI.
You'd think I was the one drinking wine. No, it was to blow up.
I'm not drinking wine. What are you talking about? No, I'm just joking.
Blow up. You put the blow-up mattress in the living room, and they could do whatever they wanted, and they couldn't get hurt.
Yeah, and many of you guys don't know, when I had my grandkids, and still to this day, I do not have a coffee table.
No.
I do not have a coffee table. I got sick and tired of changing the diapers on the corners.
I had in one of my jobs, the one I retired from, I had to go do weekend shows.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those shows, I came home, and your baby sister was about 2 years old, and I came in the door, and the first thing I saw was a bloody T-shirt on the floor of the entryway carpet.
Why am I just not hearing about this?
That's when we gave the coffee table to Angela.
Oh.
What happened was Taylor was toddling around, and she fell on that coffee table, the very corner,
mm-hmm.
and the gash on her eyebrow. You can see it. There's a slight scar right under her eyebrow.
Me and her have matching scars, by the way.
Now
it's on this side.
Yeah, but anything close to the scalp, eyebrows and up, bleeds very much because of the blood.
And not only that, it's you got no fat between your skin and your bone on your
right, but you've got a lot of little veins that are feeding the hair follicles of the eyebrows and your hair.
Well, apparently, according to the haters, my hair follicle, I don't know what they're talking about. My hair follicle, blood is not pumping like it should. Apparently, I'm bald.
Take some niacin. But anyways,
I'm not bald.
I went to the bathroom.
Take some niacin. I'm not bald.
I went to the bathroom. There was blood in the bathroom. I went out the garage door. There was blood on the garage door. Going into the garage, I freaked out. No Jack, no baby. And I started calling, Uncle Ted, everybody. I think I called you. I think I called Angela. I called everybody. Then I called Manatee Memorial. And this was before 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yes, they've been here and left. And I go, but they wouldn't tell me why. I had.
Well, you were talking to the right people,
sit
because I seem
on
to wield my bullshit at these hospitals, and I get all the information I need: where, what, when, who, how, where, what room.
But anyways, I was on Men's and Pedals until they got home, and they super glued her eyebrow.
I remember that. I remember that.
But in the meantime, I had all this blood I was cleaning up just to keep myself busy, and I had no idea who was hurt. I had no idea if it was Jack or your sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I just panicked. Those kind of things, a caring mother, and I know all your listeners out there understand, if you're a real caring mother, you go nuts over that kind of thing. It just drives you nuts.
Right.
But how someone can just abuse their children, even if he drowned in the tub, how could she put him in the tub and forget about it?
Well, that didn't happen. Let's be honest. Who puts a child in the tub at 2 a.m. in the morning? It doesn't happen.
No.
Okay,
No,
period. It just does not happen. That is a bullshit excuse.
You in the tub, but you were
But let's
3
think.
years old.
But yeah,
3
but
years
even
old.
then, like, even
Once.
they're talking about the pool. There's a possibility of this child drowning in a pool, and it's like, how many times has that child been in that pool alone without his floaties, and he never drowned? Why today? Why that day? That doesn't make sense. What makes sense is this mother. Let's put all this whole entire case to perspective. Let's just put it in perspective. So we have a woman that has had her 2 oldest children taken from her custody by her mother. There is evidence here. We found substantial evidence that this child was targeted by his mother because she did not like his father. We're hearing some reasons why she did not like his father, but this child was absolutely targeted and was the brunt of a lot of abuse. Then you take that her mother took her to court, got custody of these kids. She was about to pay child support for these kids and was getting evicted from the home. And then boom, he's gone.
Yeah. That's heartless. That's a mental illness. I don't know what it is to take drugs, but all I gotta say is it has to take a hell of a lot of drugs to get you to the point you don't notice your children.
Come on, Mom. I mean, I was a messed up individual at one point in my life. And you never, I mean, out of all the things that you were worried about me doing, injuring or hurting a child was probably the lowest on the totem pole for you.
Yeah. I'll tell you, well, just put this into perspective. If she was wiped out so far with drugs, who gave the baby the bottle during the night? Zane?
Sound like Zane was the parent of the children, and he was only 3.
I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. The brand new baby, she would have had to have had a nighttime bottle.
Yeah.
How in the heck did...
Well, we don't know
terrible.
that because, I mean, outside of this, I mean, I'm sorry, but her favorite child has double black eyes. Her least favorite child is missing. And then you have Sky, which is not old enough to even say, I'm being injured by my mommy. And
no, or I'm hungry.
You keep wondering, what have these children went through? What has Sky gone through? Sky is the youngest, can't say freaking squat. What has that poor child went through? If mom's getting frustrated with the boys, what is she doing with a brand new baby that's screaming and carrying on all hours of the day and night?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I've been on here long enough.
All right, Mama Bullhorn, we love you. Everybody in the chat loves you.
Over to your house because that wine looks awful good.
Oh, it's your favorite.
I know it is.
It's your favorite.
I love you. I love you.
I love you too, Mom.
Bye.
Bye. Mama bypasses the phone lines, and sorry, but I have to answer Mama because she's Mama. She's Mama, right? So again, we're talking about two separate cases here. For those that are just kind of tuning in, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to go and thumbs up, telling me and my audience and my mods. Most importantly, the ones that make this a good environment are the mods. It's not me. Trust me. I'm not this good. Like, it takes a lot of great people to make a channel like the Bullhorn Betty channel. And it is squat. I'm only 10% of the real the real talent on here, right? The real talent is the mods, right? They're the ones that make frustrated people calm, make calm people relaxed. They're the ones that decide what's good, what's bad on this channel. They know where the vision is of this channel, and they execute it beautifully. So thanks to all the mods. Thanks for the people that support me. Many people don't realize there's a lot of people right here from Bradenton that support this channel. That support this channel financially on a month-to-month basis. And Miss Robin, a great example. And Emma, another great example. Ronnie, another great example. People that don't feel good, right? They're having some things going on, like Miss Robin not feeling good, her husband not feeling good, Miss Emma always in the hospital. God bless her soul. Good Lord, God bless that woman's soul. And then you got Ronnie. She's been dealing with some stuff herself, and they're here. They're always here. Guidance. She's got the twins. She's got all this stuff going on. We've heard her story on here. Just beautiful, beautiful people on here trying to do God's work, and God bless them all. And not only that, but doing God's work on one of the most controversial channels on YouTube, by the way. We are finally being understood why we do the things that we do. And why do we do these things on some cases, but not other cases? Because it depends on the factors associated with the cases. When it comes to this particular case with Quinton Simon, there are just too many issues with this case, and too many people that should have known what was going on and did absolutely nothing about it. Nothing. And that's where the problem is. So I'm going to go ahead and open up. Now, if we can all be cool. We know we already got the trolls. We're in the troll hours. It's nighttime, right? So there's just a lot of horrible, angry people out there. Like, why is Bullhorn Betty talking about this case? Why are people listening to Bullhorn Betty? Because I take the time to go out and find the information to actually have an opinion, right? Spend thousands upon thousands of dollars. There's stuff breaking on in Michael Monkey Vaughn's case, and I was just there. How many other creators can say that outside of Chris McDonough? I was just there. I was just there. So the news is grim right now. We're all waiting with bated breath to find out what's going on with Michael Monkey Vaughn's case. And as we look into the other monkey, Quinton Simon, we see a dark but very clear contrast between family to family as to what may or may not be appropriate behavior for a family of a missing child. Right? It's sad. It is awfully sad. All these cases are sad. Geez. Out of all this ST, every single child out here has been ST'd. Well, then why the hell are they're being wound up dead and their parents are being blamed for it? At the end of the day, how many ST allegations have we heard versus how many ST allegations have come true? The idea now that we're starting to hear the stories surrounding Michael Monkey Vaughn is just, it's hard not to take your brain to a really, really dark place. And just knowing that this is one of their neighbors, like, I want to just, the things I would love to say or do to the neighbor that injured a hair on Michael Monkey Vaughn is just not mainstream media. Just saying. If you guys like mainstream media news, I can tell you Bullhorn Betty channel is probably not the channel that you should be spending your time on. For those that actually like the content, enjoy the content, love the information, know that it's factual, know that it's true. Now we'll give a few given circumstances here, right? A few given circumstances. What are those few given circumstances? Like the other day, you know, with No Charge Hadley. Well, you know, there was a part of the story that was running in a different direction, saying that he was involved with some prostitutes and everything like that. Like, it was a hard pill to swallow to have to come to the audience and say, hey, you know, that story's really not true. It's only partly true because, yes, he was involved in the case, but he was the police chief and he was the one that had to fire these people and put them on administrative leave. But as far as getting his, you know, under the desk, it probably didn't happen. And if it did happen, he wasn't caught. So, you know, it's like one of those things. I don't like saying that, but, you know, you see the dark contrast between a good police chief and a bad police chief. We have a good police chief, J.D. Huff, in Fruitland, Idaho. And you got a horrible police chief. His name is, whatever his first name is. What is it? John, Howard, who knows? Tom, Dick, or Harry. No Charge Hadley, right? And I haven't even taken the time out to even know his first and last name. If that tells you how much I respect this police chief over there in Savannah, Georgia, in Chatham County. Why the hell is a police chief running a investigation like this that the sheriff's department should be running or the state police should be running? I don't know. That's the construct that of the county, that the people, the voting of the people. I'm telling you guys, if you want the same crap, keep voting the same way. I just saw your voting record, and oh my God. Oh my God. You're not going to affect change doing the same exact thing. I'm just saying. Trust and believe when I say this. I am literally here trying to liberate this county from all of the garbage that it's dealing with. And these people are still voting the same way that got them into this garbage that they're dealing with right now. I'm telling you guys, if you trust and believe when I say I got no dog in this fight, none. But the only way you're going to get avail yourself of this nonsense is to vote it out. You voted it in. But I digress. Clearly burning down buildings, going in there and having a protest, a real protest, a violent, disgusting protest is more in line with what this county's appetite is than us having a peaceful protest. Because when you have peaceful protests, they think you're weak and they try to throw you in jail. So I guess arson and thuggery is the only way to protest in Georgia. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I'm very disgusted with the how things are right now. We had a family that was absolutely crucified and had nothing to do with their son's disappearance. And you have a family that is being protected that had everything to do with their loved one disappearance. Make it make sense. Make it make sense to me. Please. I beg of you. Make it make sense. Jeff Hadley. So no charge, Jeff Hadley. Jeff Hadley, I don't hate you. I'm starting to hate you. I'm starting to hate your politics. I'm starting to hate your beliefs. I'm starting to hate your policing abilities. I think it's garbage. I think it's junk. I think it's what got us into this mess in America to begin with. But that's just my personal opinions, my personal viewpoints, which absolutely have nothing to do with this channel. But what I can say is that I have every right to be there as media in a personal capacity as a protester if I choose or see fit. It's my choice. My body, my choice. Many things we've heard mimicked across this country for years. My body, my choice. My mouth, my choice. Where I want to be in this world, my choice. I don't have to. Like, I'm there on my own accord. Me, Bullhorn Betty, like one person. I am not going to go get a parade application for me. That's what they're basically saying. Oh, you need to go get a parade application because you're in town. No, I do not. I don't coordinate with people. I don't say, hey, people, come out and see me. I don't do any of that. I'm not getting a parade application, nor will I fucking apply. Excuse my language. Ain't happening. Arrest me. Chink, chink. Tell me. Let your courts railroad me. You guys don't have money now? Let me get a hold of that money. You'll have even less. Like literally a lot less. Because as soon as I have enough right now to sue the living lights out of Chatham County. But I already know some of the arguments. So now we've had a 2-week break. Don't come to me with those arguments that happened the last time. Because we were making sure that whenever you violate my rights, it's all on you, not me. There is an internal investigation for the internal affairs going on right now with this police department. Apparently, it's known across the law people as well, like the judges and everything like that. I hope the judges are fair to these people and don't violate their rights after they've already been violated, right? But this is a small town with a good old boys club. So we've got to watch these judges. We know one judge, as despicable as Billy Joe was, decided to give these kids to her in her custody. So my ability to trust this entire county, literally from the executive branch to the judicial branch, is a little rocky. It's a little rocky, to say the least. Just a little bit. Legislation needs to be passed to place children in a protective category, therefore making it a hate crime. Yes, right? If gays, lesbians, transgender community can have those rights, so should our children. Absolutely. I agree. And I don't think it'll take away from that other group, the trans, all those people out there. I think that they would. Many of them love children as well. Many of them want to have children of their own with their significant other, whether it be the same sex or not. I mean, they let's be honest, people in love are the same. When you love somebody, you want to be with them. You never want anything bad to happen to them. It doesn't matter what sex that partner is. When you love somebody, you love somebody. You want a family with them. You want to grow with them. It doesn't matter what your sex is. The idea of the family still lives on. Yeah, and it's sad. And what's even sadder is seeing Marissa come out of Diana's home crying because they felt safe with us there. They felt, like no matter what happened, if we were there, nothing would happen to them. They had the strength to keep fighting for him, but there's so many elements fighting everybody in that town against what they are doing. I mean, this police chief has created a horrible PR nightmare for himself, a horrible, people don't trust law enforcement in that community. I damn sure don't. I always said, things happen for a reason. This is the one case I never let law enforcement know. I always call that's part of my standard operating procedures. Always call law enforcement, let them know I'm coming into town. Let them know who I am before I come into town in case they don't know. And this is the one I didn't do that to because I literally packed a bag and ran out the door. And damn, it makes me wonder, should my strategy be letting law enforcement know I'm coming into their community? Because how much of this have we avoided because they knew we were there and we were monitoring everything they were doing? How many times has law enforcement hid what they do to their community because they knew we were there? Because I learned, again, 24 to 48 hours of me landing in an area, I learned probably more in that the first 24 to 48 hours of me landing in any community. I learned more about the case and the people involved literally than any other time in the case in which I'm covering. that first 24 to 48 hours is always crucial for me. Yeah. So Andrea says, I have good friends. Good friend. They are a gay couple that adopted 2 children from their own family members. If that makes sense, they are the best parents. Exactly. And a lot of people, I mean, look, Justice for All. A lot of people sit there and have the bias of a gay couple can't raise a child or a boy child or something like that. That something has to be so disgusting going on in that family. Are you kidding me? Like, gay people are like normal people. Like, I have a type, right? I have a type of man that I like. It's not going to change because of this. And trust me, if you're not attracted to children, you're never going to be attracted to children. It doesn't matter whether you're straight or gay, right? And the horrible things that have kept children from, are you kidding me? I would so much rather see Quinton Simon and a household raised by a bunch of great, beautiful, loving gay men, transvestite, drag queen, MFers out the wazoo, and know that this boy is loved, truly loved, in the most sweetest, innocent, wonderful way, than knowing that this child is in a heterosexual family being beaten regularly. I'm not going to say every day. I'm not going to go that far. I did not find that evidence. I didn't find the evidence that he was beaten every other week or every few days. I didn't find the evidence. What I found was this child was targeted. What I found is that his mother abused him because of his father. How often that abuse occurred, I don't know the regularity of that. But I know, based upon these pictures and the ages of him from the beginning of these photos to the end, that he was abused quite frequently. And he was abused quite frequently from his mother and potentially his grandmother. And God knows who else. They were on drugs, after all. Give me a moment. I'm going to put on a song, and you guys are going to have to give me just a moment because I need a moment. I got to use the restroom. The wine's going through me, and you guys want to stay tuned because why would you want to leave? Right? Why would you want to leave? So let me see. I only got one song, so we're going to play it, and I'll see you in just a second. Hold on.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play up and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast, I can roast, I can gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior, get off of me, this ain't no humble brag, I want you to hear words, you can say them back, I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. The consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams into modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible. spread. I'll be great one day, going off on my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I have to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
All right, now that we're back. So, again, two different cases with monkeys involved. We have Quinton Monkey Simon and Michael Monkey Vaughn. Two totally different cases, not millions of miles apart, but many, many miles apart. We got one in Savannah, Georgia, and one way up there in Fruitland, Idaho. Fruitland, Idaho, devastating news tonight. Devastating news tonight as heavy equipment is being moved into the backyard of one of the neighbors there in the community in Fruitland, Idaho, where Michael Monkey Vaughn disappeared. When we came out, there were so many people just bashing this family. As controversial as Bullhorn Betty is on the streets of YouTube with a lot of the things that I do, a lot of the tools I utilize in my mission for victims' rights, this was one that many people reached out to this woman, Michael Monkey Vaughn, Brandy Neal, to tell her how horrible of a despicable person I am and how horrible of the work I do. And this lady gave me a chance and I gave her a chance. And I heard her story. I went there, as I do with all cases, have an open mind. Even when you think I walk into town with an unopened mind, believe it or not, I have an open mind. It is a strategy. I do things very specifically to provoke a response of the person. Okay? Because I know what response I intend to provoke. So if I'm not getting the response I'm provoking, I have to ask why. There's a lot of psychology that goes into the work that I do, a lot of it, to help me determine whether somebody's being truthful or untruthful. People don't understand it because they don't understand the method, they don't understand the strategy, and they want to beat up Bullhorn Betty because they can't be me. They will never be me. The people I bring into my circle is a very strategic process. Now, a couple of them, maybe not so strategic, right? A couple of them I just said, I met them along the way and said, damn, you guys are great people, right? Damn, you're great people. Come on over. But there's a lot of strategy in everything that I do, a lot of it. Am I fake? No, I'm not. Anybody that knows me knows I come from strictly from the heart. I really don't give a rat's ass whether you like me or not like me, because at the end of the day, I have a job to do, and it's nothing personal. And that's the way I perceive it. That's the way I deal with it. That's the way I perceive it. Does it get personal? Of course it does. Anybody tells you it doesn't get personal is a liar. Are you kidding me? I got like 8 lawsuits right now going on with other creators. Trust me when I say this, but that's okay. That's okay. We get through what we got to get through. We do it the lawful way. I do not break the law, despite what my haters would like to say. We're here fighting for 2 boys. 2 boys. Michael Monkey Vaughn and Quinton Monkey Simon. We have a family that had absolutely nothing to flip and do with his child's disappearance, Michael Monkey Vaughn. And then you have a family that has everything to do with the disappearance of their loved one. Simon, Quinton Monkey Simon, tongue tied, sorry. Total polar opposites of what one family does and what the other family does. You got a guilty family, you got a not guilty family. We discuss this over and over and over again. Brandy Neal is not guilty of doing squat with her son. You know what she's guilty of? Being a freaking good mother and going to fucking work. That's what that lady is guilty of. Being a good mom and going to effing work. And the whole entire world wanted to explode on her because statistics stuck. I am a statistic person. So why in the hell am I outside of the Simon home, but not the Neal home? Because there's two totally different scenarios here. You got a guilty family versus a not guilty family. Do you honestly believe Bullhorn Betty is going to blow up in front of somebody's home with bullhorns, videos, everything else, fighting with law enforcement, fighting with their county, fighting with the politicians there? Do you think I'm going to pull out all those stops for a family that does not deserve it? Hell to the nah. It ain't happening. There's a reason why Brandy Neal got a fair shake. Actually, to be honest with you, Leilani and Billy Joe got a fair shake too. The problem between the two of them is one family is guilty and one family is not. One family got the bullhorn, one family got help. Right? There is a difference. I was told once upon a time to believe in the process. I absolutely believe in the process. The difference is, as I believe in my process. I don't believe in anybody else's process. I know with my process, the good people are never in jeopardy of harm or jeopardy of incarceration or jeopardy of being sued, because I protect the people that actually go out and do good. I will say, I do not take too kindly to people that threaten my livelihood or threaten my reputation based upon lies. You want to talk about the truth? Hey, I'm good with that. You want to lie to me? I'm not good with that. That's called slander, libel, and defamation. Many of you guys just know I'm no short of lawsuits. Like I am as much all over this country with lawsuits as I am with my ability to go to each state to cover cases. It's just that it's that difficult. When you get to this level, it is not cheap. It is not cheap at all by any stretch of the imagination. But our work is good. Our work is legit, and nobody can delegitimize the work that we do. When I come to a house and you have a bullhorn slap up your orifices, it's probably because nobody believes a damn thing you say. When I come to your town and I give you the benefit of the doubt to speak to me, which I even offered that to Leilani and Billy Joe, but instead they chose to steal from me. Yeah, not good. I have a street cred. I have a street presence. And my street presence basically is, and haters can hate away, clip this, baby. My street presence is being one, fair, balanced, and unafraid. Period. I don't really care what they say, what they want to do, what photos they want to. I'm a piece of shit, right? I'm this big piece of shit that doesn't care about anybody and just here for the money. For the $50 a video, a 4-hour video, right? I'm here for $50 to waste my life on a 4-hour video for $50. That's what I'm worth, right? I'm not. I'm here for you. You're here for me, and we get the job done. There's a reason why I didn't go scorch earth on Brandy Neal. If I really thought this woman or her family had anything to do with it, believe me, I would not have stopped. You guys know that. This woman had been through a whole lot of stuff. She just wanted answers for her son. And then you get these pieces of shit in Savannah, right? These pieces of shit that should be locked behind, like literally locked away and the key thrown away. You get these pieces of shit in freaking Savannah, Georgia, Chatham County. And good Lord, you can't get a piece of shit locked up in Chatham County, but get some good-hearted, great people that are pissed off that pieces of shit ain't going to jail. Oh, don't worry. Those good-hearted people are going to jail. They're going to jail. Because Chatham County only cares about throwing the innocent in jail and leaving the guilty on the street. That's all they're capable of. Fire. You know what? I found out that this whole entire police department out here, Police Memorial Drive, has only been there since 2008. Guys, here, let me tell you something. This is an outsider looking in. It ain't working. It's a waste of taxpayer money. Take that money that you're spending on that piece of shit police chief and send it over to your sheriff's department. Your sheriff's department's got your back. Many people don't like, we don't like police, right? We want to get away with whatever the hell we want to get away with. We want to do whatever we want. We want the police to stay out of our freaking business. I get it. But would you rather have this no charge Chatham police chief, or would you rather have your sheriff's department handling it? Maybe you criminals would like the police chief to have it because he's no charge handling, right? You don't give a shit. If you're committing a serious crime, you ain't going to jail. Cross the street and spit on the road the wrong way, maybe you might go to jail. But, doing big criminal shit, you good. You all good up in Chatham. We have a problem with that, and I'm collecting information. I have to be honest with you, I didn't start looking in this trail, but you know what? Like, you fuck me once, fuck you. You fuck me twice, fuck me. I will never, ever say fuck me. Excuse me to all the people, good-hearted Christian people out there that don't like the F word being used. I apologize to you, but let me tell you, you don't get to say F you to me twice, period. And when I saw what I saw, you can't undo my education on that, Cher. You can't undo my education on that. If you ever in your million years think I would ever trust, I have trust issues anyways. You ask me to trust a process, I'm all for trusting the process until you start trusting me to fuck jail or bodily harm. Then we have a problem, a big problem. Big problem. But whatever. Whatever. You know what? I'm glad that, even with Shane McLaughlin. Do you guys remember Shane McLaughlin? He was the boy, 16, 17, that disappeared from home. His mom came out and screamed bloody murder and how her son was being ST'd and all this other stuff. And we had people, this is back when we were still in the transition of TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. Like, we have, many of you guys know I'm not like Olivia huge, but I have like 73, between 70 and 80,000 followers on TikTok. And I haven't even been there in almost 6 or 7 months. And I still am maintaining that kind of commitment for my people over there. God bless them. But we were in the whole transition of TikTok and still nothing like this. Nothing at all. This is crazy mamma jamma stuff, but we had all of our people support us in a lot of different ways, but nothing like this case here. This case right here, I think everybody sees what has happened, sees what's transpired, and knows damn well Cher has crossed the line. She has absolutely 100% crossed the line. And she didn't cross the line on Dawn Wells, which I never thought she did. I just didn't know her and I didn't like her. She always denounced us, denounced what we were doing and whatever. I mean, you can denounce whatever, but at the end of the day, if you're not on the right side of this, then screw you. I got no time for you. And after you, let's put this in perspective. After this shenanigans going on and after everything I read, you put my friend in jail. Okay, your shenanigans and all the little counterparts that worked with that shenanigans put my friend in jail. Now, mind you, thank God for him that he had me and the people out there screaming bloody murder. Because let me tell you, if he would have went to jail and had to have stayed there overnight, good Lord, what I would have done to you. You are lucky that I am here on this side of it and I don't get involved in the drama. Literally lucky. Because if I really wanted to go scorch earth, I would go scorch earth. You do not fuck with me or my body or jeopardize it for, to criminality. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Bitch, when this is all done and over with, and you want to come and talk to me, let me tell you something. You tried to cause me bodily harm. You tried to cause me to go to jail. And you tried to cause me to be sued. Do you think I want anything to do with you after this? Trust the process, my ass. Let me tell you something, you fucking cunt. When I'm done, I'm done. Me and you are over. Over. I hope this payday was worth it. Because once you are done riding this gravy train, I am taking your ever-loving coal. Your choo-choo days will be over. Okay? Your choo-choo days will be over. Trust and believe in that. Many people out here on YouTube a year ago, when I sat there and said, I would be coming for you and I will be making sure that you pay for every little bullshit thing you've done, and you laughed at me. Well, it's funny because I have legitimate legal claims, and I will wipe every one of you ass wipes off of this street of YouTube because you have violated the law, right? Not because of ill will. It's because I have good faith. And the stuff you're doing, I have warned you that is criminal. And you still don't want to listen. And so now some of the stuff that happened last year is finally coming to fruition. And remember when I said I don't want to hear the bitches crying? When it finally catches up to them, that justice moves slowly. So if anybody's crying a river and saying, oh, it's Bullhorn Betty's fault, it's Bullhorn Betty. No. It's your fault. It is your fault that this is happening to you. Quit blaming Bullhorn Betty for every single travesty that happens in your life. I'm not that special. I'm not. But you know what? If I really was, trust me, I'm pretty sure everybody on YouTube acknowledges you probably deserve it. So quit bitching about your just desserts. I had to eat a year of it. You're getting a taste of it. Suck it up, Buttercup. Now, please explain how anybody can excuse this crap right here. Come on, people. Come on, right? Who can accept this on a child? All these photos. Do you guys understand how small this little baby was? 20 months old. Anybody that remembers their 20-month-old kid? And they're trying to convince us that all this happened because they're just rambunctious children. Okay. Well, you know what? We all have rambunctious children. And I don't remember any of our kids looking like this all the time. Just say it. Don't remember. But hey, if the assholes that are supporting this kind of effery Send me some photos of your children looking like these children. Because I guarantee you would never do that. Because if you did, you'd probably have the Department of Children and Family Services knocking on your door. Just saying. It is amazing. Like I said, when I looked at that flyer that was up behind the memorial, and it said, thank you, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at those photos and I'm like, those were probably the only 3 photos that entire family could find without these children abused on. Everybody thought I was being funny. I wasn't. That's why I kept trying to come back. Like a lot of people want to sit here and oh shit, I almost broke my, oh my God, what? But there's a lot of people that have children. We all know our lack thereof as parents and grandparents. We already know we've effed up a time or two raising them. But when we look back on how we raised them and how, this whole situation or this particular situation could have turned out totally different, right? But we remember our experience. It's like, wow, I remember my grandchild hitting the freaking tile when she fell off the bed, right? Like, you remember these things. And you remember how terrified you were. And you remember looking at this grandchild. And like, for me, I almost called like law enforcement and like brought in the whole entire cavalry because this grandchild started screaming in the bedroom. I go in there, this grandchild's on the floor and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? I'm a horrible grandma. I'm holding this child, this child's screaming and I'm just crying because I feel so horrible. Like, how dare me, right? And I'm looking at this child and I'm sitting there in tears and this child, hey, Nana. Like, oh. You look at this child, why you crying? And it's like, oh my God, is this child okay? Did she hit her head too hard? You start feeling their scalp and you start looking at him and you're like, holy crap, this child fell off a bed and doesn't even have a mark on her. But then you see these children with marks all over them in different areas. And you're like, wait a minute, like, we had a rough, our kids were rough. They beat the shit out of each other. Took phones, cracked each other upside the heads with the phones, bit each other like, wanted to take chunk. They want to be Mike Tyson, like on the ear and shit, like take a chunk out of it, right? But you remember these things and you remember that your children weren't injured. They get a bump or bruise here, yes, but not like this. And we're thinking like some of the stories I have are like straight out of the freaking Shining. And not one child under my care ever had some marks on them like this. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Did I explain that again? Hold on, let me explain it one more time. Ever, ever, ever. Ever. It's like crazy. So. Anyways, guys, you guys have been with me for an hour and 38 minutes. As you guys can see, I am like on my last glass of wine. I don't know who's coming on tonight. I just wanted to let you know that I'm really having a bad time with this whole Michael Monkey Vaughn thing. Many of you guys don't know. But he's like the one that I just wanted to come back home safe. Well, all of them, I want them to come back home safe, right? Like all of them. But we know when I came out here to Savannah, Georgia, I knew that we weren't getting Quinton Simon back in one piece. I knew that. I know that we're not getting Summer Wells back in one piece. I know that. I know we're not getting Harmony Montgomery, Serenity McKinney, Oakley Carson, Classic and Sincere, Cody Bigsby. I know that we're not getting them back in one piece. I get it. We're not getting him back. But I had hope for Quinton. And that it's been stuffed away. I had hope for Michael Monkey Vaughn. because mom, felt him. Maybe she felt him because he was so close. I don't know. But he was the one. It's like, you know what? If all of them, it's him. Out of all of the kids, it's him. He's going to come back. And now we hear that there's big, large equipment in the neighbor's yard. That's not a good sign. So the only thing we can hope for right now is that we get answers. And as horrible as YouTube has been for the parents of Michael Monkey Vaughn, I hope you guys just open your minds and open your hearts and realize this is a family that could have used our support a long time ago. And maybe it's time to give them support now. Okay? It's time to give them support now. I think at this point they've wore their battle scars. Anything that they may have done wrong in life as parents, I think they paid for. And I hope that we all can embrace this family and give them the love and support that they're going to need. Out of all the families that got super chats, super stickers, super everything, money, all this stuff on false pretenses from Cher and BT and BK and all this garbage, the one family that didn't get squat from YouTube was Michael Monkey Vaughn's family. So if this comes to fruition, if we find out this child is in that backyard, I cannot believe I'm saying it. I want this boy to have a beautiful, beautiful funeral and resting place. And for all you pieces of shit that wanted to talk shit about this family, put your money where your mouth is. You had no problem dragging this family. You better prop them up when they are absolved of everything you dogged them about. And I'm talking about monetarily, because a freaking funeral for a kid ain't cheap. Anyways, I digress. Peace out. I'm having a bad night. The whole Michael Monkey Vaughn is hurting me. But hey, you know what I mean? I'm just a YouTuber. I have no feelings. I have nothing that goes on in my head other than trying to blame somebody that they didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Well, keep believing, keep trusting and believing in that process. And I'll keep showing you guys that each and every time I go out to these houses, it is not without merit. It is absolutely in good faith. And when I call a family murderers, they're fucking murderers. Good day.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.